turn.
Come together.
Shall we?
Hello, fellow viewers. This is me, Blake the Comic Nerd here. Today, you already know where I'm viewing Justice League. I do have a lot of mixed feelings about this movie. I really do. Justice League was a movie that I really felt lacked confidence. I really felt like it did. It really didn't know what it wanted to be. It felt like it wanted to be a Marvel movie, but it didn't have the confidence or lack to be a Marvel movie. That's what I felt like about it. It still was a decent enough movie. I love Justice League. In the comics, I love all of them. But this movie, thought was decent. Yeah, this is my shirt. It's supposed to look ripped. If you guys couldn't tell, it's supposed to look ripped. I'm sorry. It's still, I thought it was a decent enough movie. I still thought it was a decent enough movie. I did feel like it had tons and tons of issues with this movie, and a lot of the characters being just rehashed of some Marvel heroes, which I'll get into my review, which I'm probably not. But I did feel like that this movie just didn't have the confidence. Batman vs Superman, no matter what, was a bad movie, but it had confidence to be an intelligent and dark movie. This movie wants to be Marvel. It doesn't want to be Justice League. It doesn't want to be DC. That's what they did trying by. They took out Zack Snyder. Zack Snyder, I don't think is that good of a director for DC in my opinion. But putting someone like John Sweden, I'm pretty sure. The guy who filmed the Avengers in this felt like a rehash of the Avengers. Was it a rehash of the Avengers? No. It didn't have, it did have stereotypes like normal superhero movies do have normal stereotypes with each other, but it felt different from the Avengers, I can give it that. But it still had tons of problems with reshoots. The reshoots probably were the best and worst parts. Zack Snyder had good parts in the movie, but there was half the movie, not half the movie, 80% of the movie is reshoots. Like, no joke, guys. Most of the movie is reshoots. I feel like it is, at least, because a lot of this feels like, no, Joss Whedon. Feels like from like the Avengers. You can really tell Joss Whedon, took this stuff out. The reason that Zack Snyder wasn't filming because of his daughter's suicide, which is something that's really sad. I do not appreciate Zack Snyder as a director, but this is something really mournful and really depressing. I'm sorry to hear about this, Zack Snyder. It's really sad, and things happen. I'm really disappointed. But what would have happened if Zack Snyder would have made the movie? That's a lot of people have been thinking about. What if Zack Snyder would have filmed the whole entire movie? Would the movie still be good or worse? I really would like to see that. So people have been making like a hashtag release the Zack Snyder cut. I thought that'd be quite interesting, and I would really like to see that. I know guys have been dead off of YouTube for a while. I know the videos might take a while. I've always been dead. People know I've always been dead off of YouTube. I don't quality over quantity, which my videos aren't that great. We all know that. I do this more for fun. I'm not really trying to make ad revenue, net neutrality, all that stuff happening. I'll make a video about that because that's something that's really been on my mind and something I've generally been worried about, So, let's get into my review, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Like, comment, subscribe, and enjoy my review. League. Now, Justice League is not based after the classic Justice League. It's more based off of the New 52, which New 52 Justice League I do not really enjoy. Do not like the Cyborg in the Justice League, but it's still Justice League, just without Green Lantern. I would have liked if they would have had the older Justice League, but reboots, stuff happens. I do understand that. And they didn't even take after the original Justice League cartoon. It was not the original Justice League cartoon, it's one of them, but they had Hawk Girl or Green Lantern or Martian Manhunter. They didn't have those three guys in the movie. Well, they did have a Green Lantern, but we'll get to that later. Justice League was a movie that was good. It was decent. Wouldn't say it's a great movie. It's decent. Better than the first and second Thor, which I can be honestly agree with. It just really it was a good movie, I can say that. But I felt like there was a lot missing with the reshoots, and my problem with a couple of the reshoots was I wanted to see Zack Snyder's cut. Zack Snyder's cut would have been more dark, but we don't need another Marvel franchise. Batman v Superman was a bad movie when you look back at it, but to be honest, it had confidence to be a dark movie. Man of Steel had confidence. This movie feels feels like it doesn't have confidence. It doesn't want to be what it wants to be. Now it wants to fit in and be a Marvel movie. And this is something I'm generally just kind of ashamed, and I'm kind of realizing that this might be my fault or the DC fans' fault. That we want to be more like more friendly, and when it does, it's kind of bad. Batman v Superman was a bad movie, but it really did have confidence. Those movies had confidence to be a dark movie. Suicide Squad was a bad movie in my opinion when I look back at it, but it still had confidence. It had its own little twist and turn. DC now feels like a Marvel movie. It doesn't have confidence anymore. It wants to fit in. It didn't want to be able to want to be a dark movie, and we forced it to be like this. And this is something I'm generally sad about, since it wasn't good. Justice League wasn't a good movie, but it tried. I can give it that. No matter what, I might still like the movie. And I think it still was a decent movie. Would I buy it on Blu-ray? Probably never, no. But I'm a huge Justice League fan, so I probably would. It doesn't relate to the story, this is just something I'm mentioning. The CGI in some parts. Now, CGI can be great. People need to realize that CGI, you can really make CGI good if you blend it with, like, you know, real effects and CGI. It looks amazing. This movie, a lot of it is CGI, and you can really tell. Like, CGI is a really good animation software. You really can make a lot in CGI. But with this, maybe they didn't try. So if you guys didn't know, Superman recently had a mustache, and they couldn't take it. She couldn't shave it off because, you know, it has something to do with another movie, and he needed to grow a mustache. So they decided to CGI it out, and it looks horrible. It looks absolutely horrible. In the beginning of the movie, it's the first shot of the kid recording Superman. His face, it looks like it looks like a horrible Snapchat filter. That's all it reminds me of. And I don't know if that's a real picture or not, but I'm pretty sure that's fake. But that's probably what it looked like if you didn't CGI it out. You can tell his upper lip is mostly missing, or upper face looks really weird. And the CGI looks horrible. Some characters, such as Steppenwolf, which in the end credits, or the deleted end credits, he originally looked like this, and now he looks like he doesn't even look human anymore. He really doesn't. I hate Steppenwolf CGI. It looks disgusting. It really does. He's just another gray villain who sounds like an action figure. I will destroy them all. You will never stop me, Justice League. Give in. It just says like the stereotype villain stuff. He's not really interesting at all. And I know Steppenwolf isn't an interesting villain. I'll get to that later. And he looks absolutely disgusting in some parts. In this picture, he looks like a human, sort of at least. He's not gray. He has red eyes, but he looks mostly close to human. He doesn't look like a giant, weird, gray CGI monster. He looks like the freaking Abomination from the first Hulk. Get into characters. Batman. Quite great in this movie. I really enjoyed Batman. Well, I did feel like he kind of did take a back step with this movie, not really showing out all the edgy Batman stuff. Batman v Superman, he was the main seat, and he showed how he was Batman. This movie, he says a lot of weird stuff, in my opinion. He still was a great Batman. I hate that tactical suit. It looks like Owlman from Watchmen. I forgot to get a picture of that, but look up Owlman from Watchmen. He looks exactly the same, like they really do. The ears, the goggles, it looks absolutely horrible. I hate the cowl. The costume looks decent. I just hate the symbol. I'll make another video about that later. But Ben Affleck plays a good Batman. A good Bruce Wayne. I'll get to that later. But he's just a good Batman. I really do enjoy him, but I didn't really like how he was the one assembling the group instead of Superman. He still was a great Batman. I'm kind of weirded out that he really didn't use a gun in this movie. In Batman Superman, he did use guns a lot. But you're fighting parademons. These are like new alien species. I think you'd have no problem killing them off. He has no problem killing people in Batman Superman, but in this movie, he does kill them, but he doesn't use a gun. So it just makes him kind of vulnerable. He's just a human with kung fu in a bat suit and fighting like thousands of metal flying demon bugs. Ben Affleck's Batman is a great Batman. I didn't like him some parts of the movie how he had to force Diana to be the Superman of the group. Like in the trailer, Batman says Superman was a beacon of hope. He didn't just save people, he made them see the best parts of themselves. In the reshoot, he says Superman. No, he didn't say Superman. He said Wonder Woman is or you're the beacon to the people or something like that. He says the exact same quote. Wonder Woman's the beacon of hope. He said the exact same quote, and I felt like that was really horribly forced in. It was a lot of reshoots, but he plays an older, more tame Batman. He's more calmed down. He's not really angry in this movie. He does have those couple scenes where he does get angry, but I feel like he's a decent enough Batman for this movie. I did kind of hate he was the one to form Justice League and Superman's the one who originally did, but I'm still a big Batman fan. I also kind of feel like he kind of took some from the Christian Bale Batman, who, if you guys don't know, in the movies, he used to act like a drunk, rich snob boy. Because, if you guys don't know, sometimes Batman used to have 3 identities. No, not another superhero, but it was the playboy, rich billionaire Bruce Wayne, the real Bruce Wayne, and then the Batman. The fake Bruce Wayne was just him acting like a playboy, retarded, kind of an idiot, like to drink, get women, buy cars. The real Bruce Wayne is not that at all. And then there was Batman. I did feel like he would try to take some of that from here, trying to make a couple jokes as Bruce Wayne, which it would have been kind of weird. I know people would have thought about, but Batman's done it before, trying to act all nice and cool, like a cool guy. I genuinely thought he was decent enough in this movie. I really think he did anything to, forward the plot besides stem the Justice League. He didn't really fight no one. And a lot of dumb stuff he said in the Batman suit. Like, Superman was, shirtless and picked him up and said, "Now tell me, do you bleed?" And he threw him on the ground. He said, "Oh yeah, something's bleeding." It was supposed to be a whole bunch of people laughing. In my theater, no one laughed. Batman doesn't say this. He really doesn't. Batman would never say something like this out loud. It's just so dumb. It really is. And they also never really brung up the parademon scene, which Batman was horrible. We couldn't fight one single parademon in this movie, and they never mentioned his dream sequence about Superman and the Nazi Superman guys and the parademons coming in his dream, which I guess that's kind of a hint. That was really a hint towards Justice League, but they never brung up these dreams or how he could have saw them. Maybe there was like a scene where he sees all Justice League getting killed, and you see Steppenwolf or maybe Darkseid, do the Age of Ultron crap. That would have been a knock rip off, but I thought it would still have been pretty cool. He couldn't handle one single parademon in this movie by himself without having like a gadget or something, which I thought was kind of funny. Like the one scene where he has to get in the Nightcrawler to take down the one parademon through his grappling hook. Like, man, use a gun or something. I was waiting for him to pop out like an AK or like a taser or something like to finish him off. No, he just has to jump in the Nightcrawler, which I hate these. I hate Diana Prince. Now, she did something that Superman couldn't do in this movie, which I think Superman did a couple things, but she actually had more of a character arc. I mean, she was already a fully established character. She really didn't have a character arc in this movie, but she more was the Superman of the movie. She was the one taking most of the hits, bringing the group together with Batman, which they already did, but she was like the main player of the game. This one was like Wonder Woman 2. Since she was the one kicking most butt besides everybody else, she helped Batman assemble the team, so she was basically the main character besides Batman. And Diana is great replacement for Superman, really is. Henry Cavill, what you can say about Henry Cavill, yes, I do know, but Diana Prince, which that's Wonder Woman's real name, Wonder Woman is great in this movie. She really is. I really enjoyed her in this movie. I loved her act. The action CGI was kind of weird, but I loved how she was hopping around, stopping all the people from getting shot. That was a weird scene. They stopped all the kids in slow motion. That was really freaking weird if you really look back at it. It was really weird. But still, Diana was great in this movie. I did say that Batman really liked to try to force her becoming the leader or the symbol of the Justice League, which I felt was kind of interesting. It was interesting. It was a really interesting concept because Batman doesn't really like to be the symbol. He just want to be alone. And then he brings up Steve Trevor. They get in a fight and they have like a long talk. It's Wonder Woman's really great in this movie. Like, I really enjoyed her. I think she was a character I didn't really have any problems with. I mean, she was kind of boring for most part. She didn't really change through the whole movie. She was the same happy-go-lucky Wonder Woman. There was no really change with her, which I really didn't think she needed, but she was just great in this movie. And I really just enjoyed her as a symbol of the Justice League before Superman came. Superman really didn't do anything but just flew out at the end and beat Steppenwolf up. I also did feel like there was really no chemistry, which I can kind of understand why, that there's no chemistry between Batman and Wonder Woman anymore, since in Batman Superman, you can kind of tell that they had a thing together. They want to get together, but in this movie, they felt more like friends, or felt like they were exes, which that kind of might be the thing, which I thought was kind of funny. But to be honest, I understand why they need no chemistry. There's a huge war going on. You guys don't need to date. Yeah. Let's get out the huge elephant in the room. Henry Cavill. If you guys know about Superman, I disliked him. If you go back to my review, I was a very interesting kid. Something I'm disappointed with about his death is that we didn't get to see the black suit and the mullet. No! I know everyone's just really mad about that, but I do understand why. For timing purposes, they just buried him in a coffin with jeans on. Okay, Henry Cavill, I felt like, is trying to become more of a Superman now. He didn't really fulfill being Superman, but he felt more like Superman. I'm kind of mad that he wasn't the one who summoned Justice League, but I do understand why he was dead and stuff. So that makes more sense. He did feel like he actually felt like he was being happy. Besides CGI mustache, I tried to ignore that, which that was actually horrible. But he kind of felt like he was getting more to becoming Superman, or more feeling like a Superman. He tried to make jokes and stuff, which I think were kind of corny, but Superman's always been a really corny superhero, so, I'll give him that. Henry Cavill could have been a good Superman, Man of Steel. If you guys ever seen Man of Unk, which Henry Cavill plays as a secret agent, he's really funny, smart wit, makes a whole bunch of jokes, and cracks a lot. Like, cracks a lot of jokes. I mean, say cracks a lot. No, he doesn't smoke crack, everybody. Something else I don't like about him is that it's just that out of nowhere he comes up the coffin, starts randomly trying to attack people, tries to kill Batman out of nowhere, then comes back at the end just out of nowhere and defeats Steppenwolf. Which I do understand why for timing purposes, but I know he just comes something that he's just like, oh, I'm not sorry for trying to kill you guys. He's like, am I too late? It's something Superman, I guess, would do, but he just goes around killing people when he once gets resurrected, which I thought was a funny way of him getting resurrected. Also, something else I did like about this movie was Lois Lane. Lois Lane actually did feel like a reporter. She has felt like a reporter in all the movies. She's gotten herself in trouble, which Lois Lane's always known for being that. This is a good Lois Lane, in my opinion. And I really did like how her and her mother, or her and Martha, Superman's mother, was mourning over Superman, and it was really emotional. They're getting their house sold. It was really sad, and I really felt bad for them. Like, these were actually really good characters. We didn't get enough screen time with them, but she was a decent enough character. I didn't say she was amazing. I'm not trying to say she's great, but she was a decent enough character. Better than Henry Cavill right now, which I still have mixed feelings about him right now. And something else I do like about him was this kind of a dumb scene where he comes out of nowhere. He already has his shirt on and stuff, and tells her about the ring, which I thought was really interesting. And Henry Cavill, not a amazing Superman, but a Superman I'm starting to still get used to now. Man of Steel didn't feel like Superman, he felt like a crazy dude. But in this movie, he feels Superman. I mean, a Man of Steel, he did have really good scenes in that movie. But now he actually feels like, he's a human. He feels like he wants to save the world. He doesn't feel like it's a burden he has to carry. Like, he wants to. He really wants to help people now. And Man of Steel, he acted like it was a burden to save people, to help them. That humans are weak, inferior to his Kryptonian race, which that's something I really did dislike about him in Man of Steel. He did still have good scenes, but Henry Cavill, good Superman. Not saying amazing, not saying a top 10 list in this movie. I've heard all the jokes of Aquaman in the book. All of them. Aquaman talks to fish. He drowns on land. I've heard every single thing. He uses a giant fork. He wears his underwear inside out. It's hard to explain. But Aquaman in this movie, he takes more from the 80s or 90s Superman, who was more of a hipster rad dude with long hair. And I do like this Aquaman. I really do like this interpretation. I do miss the old Aquaman, which the old Aquaman still was a great person. Aquaman was absolutely amazing. They even do mention one of the jokes about you talk to fish, like, no, they just come in when I call in all the water, which he really is an Aquaman in this movie. He only stops water once and gets in water like 3 times in this movie.
I would have liked more if he like cold water or something, or actually like, you know, that'd be kind of interesting. Aquaman still is a good person in this movie. He's crazy in this movie. You know, he jumps around from buildings. He's a really crazy Aquaman. I do like him about that. I really do like this Aquaman. I enjoy him. I don't like the green metal on his costume, which is, it should be orange, but that's just a pet peeve of mine. That's really petty of me to think, but I just don't like that thing about his armor. I really do like this Aquaman. He's a really good actor. I've seen him in Game of Thrones. I don't watch Game of Thrones that much. I don't know why. I just don't see him in. I don't find Game of Thrones that interesting. But I really do enjoy Aquaman in this movie. Really do. He's a great actor, and I'd love to see him in his own solo Aquaman movie. I really did like he was like an alcoholic. He was kind of like a drunk hillbilly who had aqua powers. And his wife, well, I think they're dating right now, Mira, was interesting. I really do like seeing, you know, new characters from like different parts. I don't really know that much about Mira. I've had read Aquaman comics, but she really didn't play. She doesn't really play a lot of important roles besides, you know, being Aquaman's girlfriend. She has had her. I think she has had her own comic before, but I really haven't read it or heard of it that well. But I do think she's good too in this movie. I would like to see her in the Aquaman movie and see her, you know, her and Aquaman team up and whoop. I think Ocean Master is going to be the villain. I've heard there's going to be a trailer with Ocean Master in it to take him down. But nonetheless, Aquaman was great in this movie. The dude looks crazy. He does take a lot from the 90s. Aquaman, who in that comic he lost a hand. Besides him wearing like an orange suit, he wore like the little silver thing. He wore the little silver like half chest plate thing. I think he had like a couple tattoos. Had long blonde hair, but the dude has brown hair. But I really did like this Aquaman. I enjoyed him a lot. But yeah, this I enjoyed about Aquaman. More or less my problem is that how he came to save the Justice League out of nowhere, and how he really didn't, you know, use water or anything. I thought he would, like, you know, call like a tide of water or something in that scene, or like when they're fighting someone, he just calls a big thing of water to flood all the paradigm. That would have been awesome. That really would have. Or maybe he can like call water from his trident, or to like make a big lake or something, or like maybe crack a dam. That would have been really cool, but they didn't let that happen. More or less, he just stabbed people with a giant pitchfork, which is just a giant fork. The Flash, otherwise known as Barry Allen, which he seems like more of a Wally West Flash. He feels like more of a Wally West Flash in my opinion, because he's way more younger, cracks more jokes. Barry Allen Flash, he still does that, but he feels like more of a Wally West Flash, if you guys know what I'm talking about. Which, it's Kid Flash, but it's a long story, look it up, guys. So, Barry Allen's Flash. I really enjoyed him. I did have a couple problems with his costume at first. Kind of the weird metal Iron Man look, which I eventually stuck and actually kind of enjoy it now. I do think it's a really weird interpretation, but something I did have a problem with. I do think it's a weird interpretation, but a problem I do have with this Flash in the movie is that more or less he really didn't fight a lot of people in this movie. He didn't get a lot of fight scenes. More or less, he tripped a lot. You're in slow motion. It takes a lot to trip, but for some reason he always tripped in this movie, which sounds kind of funny and ironic. And he also really does a lot of weird stuff, like when he does the sword scene. Also, that don't look that weird face. But the Flash was great in this movie. I did think he got kind of annoying at some scenes, you know, going around being really annoying and making unwanted jokes, whether people are trying to be serious. I kind of did like it at first, but eventually I just got like, no, just get him to stop talking. I really didn't like him in this movie. I did like him in this movie, but he just got really annoying towards the end. But I still really enjoyed him. I also think about getting that Popco figure, which I think that's what they're called. I'm eventually going to get one of those. The Flash movie, I do like him. I do not like the costume a little bit, but eventually maybe they'll do this to the costume. Yeah, that's some good art. It's decent. But that'd be cool, wouldn't it, guys? Flash was a great character. I also did like how they mentioned his father going to jail and how, you know, him working at Star Labs. They did bring up good stuff happening to him and him changing as a character, which is something else I really did like about Flash in this movie. He was a good Flash. He really was a good Flash. But felt like more of a Wily West in my opinion, but still was a good Flash. I would like to hear Flashpoint with him in it. If he gets really annoying in that movie, I'm probably not going to really like it. But at least if he has more characters to bounce off of and deflect from, that'd be awesome. He was a really unexperienced Flash, something I did enjoy about him. He really didn't know how to He was really a loner in this movie, which is a weird traditional Flash, but something I did quite enjoy. He was a really loner. He was a sad Flash. Not sad, but like more of an awkward person. And eventually, he, you know, got friends and stuff, which that was just, I guess, like a running joke that he was just a lonely person who liked superheroes. And he, you know, he really didn't have a character dynamic. He eventually became friends with Cyborg a little bit. A little bit. A little bit. I didn't say that, guys. A little bit. So, I guess Cyborg is, I would like to say, a character with interesting character development. Really interesting. In the beginning of the movie, he was really a edgy, dark person. You know, he just almost died and came back, and now was a robot person. I would be pretty mad too if I almost died and I became a robot dude. I mean, I'd be kind of cool though. And I think he's decent enough in this movie. I do not like Cyborg Justice League. I've always seen Cyborg as a Teen Titan. I've never seen him as Justice League until the New 52 reboot, which I've hated. I hated him being a member. I would like more of Martian Manhunter. Martian Manhunter is a weird character, so I do understand why they switched him out, but, you know, Martian Manhunter has a weird and interesting backstory. More or less, he has a really more interesting backstory than Cyborg, in my opinion, and would more fit in being a really weird character. But people would have got to love him. He'd be basically the Groot of the movie. He wouldn't say one word, but he'd be kind of weird. He was really good. I do know he's a football player, which I haven't watched the dude play football, but I've heard he's alright. The CGI does look really great for him. I do not like the weird chest thing where it looks like a weird Iron Man thing. His eye looks really cool. It's like a weird heat signature thing. I do really like Cyborg in this movie. Like, the CGI looks amazing. Like, it really does. Like a way more cooler Iron Man. He is decent enough as a character. He really does have issues with getting along with people, which I do understand. Then when he eventually gets to know them and they eventually get to form up, he gets more a little chilled down, kind of like with Aquaman, like the scene where she puts the lasso around Aquaman. They were all being really cheery and stuff. Cyborg still just feels, he still really feels like he's not really still fitting in with these people. Even though there's a Amazon, a dude who just as a bat, a dude can go through time, a dude can talk to fish, and he still feels he can't fit in. He still can, which I think I found that kind of interesting, that he still realizes that he'll never fit in. Never will. He never will fit in, but at least he's the people who are closer to how weird and wacky that he is. And I still just don't like him as a Justice League member. I've always hated him as a Justice League member. I'll get into a video why I dislike that, because more of the people, they replaced Martian Manhunter, which I love Martian Manhunter. He's a great guy. And I love him as a Teen Titans. Well, Cyborg's Teen Titans. No, not that Teen Titans. Go watch my Teen Titans Go review to feel my opinion, or just to hear my opinion about Cyborg in Teen Titans Go. This Cyborg, my boy, my man Cyborg. Let's go. That's my man Cyborg. That's my boy Cyborg I want to see. I don't want to see this or this. I want to see this. My man's Cyborg. I love it. Missed that. I'll eventually review that show one day. I love that show. Really. Decent enough villain for Justice League. He did nothing interesting. He repeated the exact same quotes, a normal, like, little action figure things you do. You like, press a little button. I will destroy you, superheroes. Nothing can stop me. Today, I will destroy the world or terraform it. That's basically what every villain wants to do in DC. Terraform or destroy it. That's literally... Ares wants to destroy the world or make war. Enchanters want to reform it. General Zod wants to reform it, and Stephen wants to reform. What's with you? What's aliens and demons and reforming planets and gods? What is with you guys in reforming crap? Batman Superman. Well, okay, you know what? You beat me there. He didn't really reform stuff, but he wanted to destroy the planet since he was a giant gray monster. Lex Luthor wanted to kill Superman. Well, the main villain. Okay, you got me there, Batman Superman. Most villains wanted to destroy. Well, okay, never mind. Now look, I'm still generally confused about Steppenwolf's change in the end credits for Batman v Superman. I do know it was deleted, and this probably is the reason why it was deleted. Steppenwolf was supposed to look like this, not that. So I guess that's probably why it was deleted. And also, why do you have all the mother boxes? I guess this is like a photo, or like one of those little. That's like the little thing where they showed like in Man of Steel, the little baby thing where they showed you know, when he was being born, they showed like his heartbeat and stuff. It was like one of the little visions that Lex Luthor saw in the thing, and how he wanted the mother boxes to terraform the Earth. And he doesn't look human to me. New gods in the comics, they look at least close enough to humans. They don't look like weird, giant, ugly, CGI'd Transformer human hybrids. I mean, Transformers look even more prettier than that. At least they have at least a couple of colors. I can only see like small things of red. I'm surprised that might be blood or something. That's the only color I can really see besides fire. He's just a really boring villain. And more or less, I would like that they did his more New 52 look, which is a great design. I do hate his original comic book design, which I do like that one way better. How it's just, he looks like a normal human, but he still has like advanced powers. Maybe make him a little bit taller, maybe a little bit bigger, but make him look like a normal human. But just with like giant arm, make him powerful. I would really like that. And besides him trying to terraform there, maybe he's trying to take down the Justice League, or before, you know, Darkseid comes in and decides to terraform and make it his planet. Yeah, that's his real comic book design of Steppenwolf. It looks horrible. Steppenwolf has never been a villain to be the stand front or the main villain of a movie. He's always stand behind. He's always been the one, you know, treading behind the parademons or commanding them. He's not the main one standing guard. He's never been. More, yes, I would have liked it more. Well, I wouldn't have liked it more, but it was really, I would have liked it more if they showed, you know, him, Darkseid killing him, or showing like the Omega Beam coming out, the little thing. So maybe, remember the boom tube things, which those are kind of interesting. I remember how Steppenwolf kept boom tubing everywhere at the end. He got bit by the parademons, and he got boom tube. So my theory is that, you know, Darkseid was like, what the heck are you doing? And then end up killing him. Maybe at the end, you would hear like, Steppenwolf gets sucked up, he's like, no, he like screams really loud, then you see like an Omega Beam go straight through the boom tube and try to hit Superman or Batman, and they dodge it. And they're just like, what the heck is that? And then it goes back in the portal, and all parademons begin to fly into the portal too with the beam. And I'm excited they have another Justice League. Like, they probably are gonna have like a Justice League 2 or 3. I really want to see this Darkseid. Maybe not all the weird armor like Steppenwolf has, but I would really like to see him. I really would like to see Darkseid, and maybe see him like, you know, tear apart Superman. Because if you guys don't know, Darkseid is pretty powerful. I would say even more powerful than Thanos. Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet is still a pretty powerful person, but Darkseid is he's a god. He's a new god. Without anything, he's basically a new god. I would like to more if they use Darkseid, if they use Darkseid's son as the main villain, which he still doesn't have a lot of character development in the movies, not movies, but comics and cartoons, but he still is more of a cooler, and maybe I would like to see him, maybe if he would have been the main villain, besides Steppenwolf, because fully armed character. Maybe it would have been him and Steppenwolf would have tried to kill Justice League first. Then when he messes up, he goes, tells his dad, and his dad's like, not in my house. Still, I really hate Steppenwolf. Something I did like was, I did kind of like the designs of like all the places getting terraformed at first, which was like, this kind of looks like the same stuff in Superman's ship, which I kind of hated. And I also really did hate the flashback scene, which I'll get to that right now after this, but I was mad about it. They showed like, you know, Zeus, a whole bunch of gods, Amazonians, and a certain person with a green ring fight, but it wasn't that person, it was a group, it was one of them trying to fight, and he got killed and his ring went away. It was a really cool scene, I really did enjoy it, and I'm kind of mad that certain character didn't show up. It was still a really cool scene, and I really did hate all the gray characters. Parademons aren't gray. They're actually, they have been gray sometimes, but most of the time they're, in the comics, they're like a dark green and gold or yellow, and I'm really mad about that. And like all the merchandise, they're green, sometimes they're yellow and blue, which the merchandise look really weird in my opinion, but you know what, at least they have color on them. In the movie, they look so dumb. But they still look like parademons. Green Lantern, you know, everyone was waiting to see him in the movie. There was a Green Lantern in the movie, but it wasn't our Green Lantern. It was an alien Green Lantern in the flashback scene fighting Steppenwolf. And the guy got killed, and Steppenwolf took the ring tried to fly off, and, you know, he captured it. Something I'm generally kind of mad about. Also, that ring glows kind of off with the CGI. I'm not going to say anything about that. Green Lantern, I really would like to see him in this movie. especially all the little Photoshop photos. I was wondering, like, maybe one of these is real. I was so hyped. Guess what, guys? None of these are. Even though these are really good Photoshop, these are really great Photoshop. None of them are. I really would have liked if they had Jon Stewart Green Lantern, especially. I know how Jordan Green Lantern had his own movie and that didn't go so well, but I really would have liked it more. You know, don't have a man Cyborg in there. Have Jon Stewart Green Lantern. He's the best. I still do like Hal Jordan, but Jon Stewart would have been awesome, especially from the original Justice League. He was a beast. A total beast. He was a GOAT. He was whooping butt, kicked everybody. He even got some from Hawk Girl. Them two had a thing, and I would have liked it if Idris Elba, which I don't really like Idris Elba as an actor. I think he's a decent guy. He's really cool in the Thor movies, which I really would have liked him if he would have been Green Lantern, since he looks like a total GOAT and looks like a great Green Lantern, in my opinion. I still don't like that they could have still used Hal Jordan. No matter, they could still use Hal Jordan, but I more like if they used Idris Elba or Jon Stewart Green Lantern. Which, it's still a Green Lantern, but I really would have liked if they had, Idris Elba. But they hinted towards Green Lantern at least enough to know that there's Green Lanterns in the universe. That's at least all we know. But Green Lantern was one of the founding members I know I'm whining and stuff, but he was one of the founding members in the original comic book. So I was so mad when I didn't see him in it. Still, nonetheless, I really was disappointed about not seeing Green Lantern in this movie. You have so many other characters like Cyborg we really didn't need, and we could have Green Lantern. That was one of my problems with this, but still, Green Lantern. There was one in it, and it was pretty cool how he did all the objects and stuff and wear CGI. So they're at least we know that they're in the DC universe. That's all we know now. That kind of makes me satisfied, at least for Martha. Why'd you say that name? Martha. Okay, I'm sorry. Martha Kent I really did like her in this movie. She didn't need enough screen time, but I felt like she was actually mourning over her son. And she was just a decent character, and I really did enjoy her. I really would have liked it more if Lois Lane was, but more if Lois Lane and Martha Kent, or Superman's, reason to come back, or the reason he came back to be Superman. I mean, in the main movie, that was Lois Lane was his main reason to come back. When he first saw her, he was all happy and glee. But still, it was pretty good. I really did like him in this movie. She is really good in the movies. Besides everybody else, even Batman Superman, that movie was a clustered mess. She was still an outstanding star. She didn't need enough time to be an outstanding star, but she still was a great actor. Besides the bad stuff she said about Superman not having to be Superman. Well, you have to be Superman, man. Like, you have to. I'm sorry. She still was really good in this movie. I did enjoy her. What I found kind of weird in this movie was the family. How the movie, towards the end of the movie, they kept cutting to a family in the movie, which I guess was showing that, Superman sorry for blowing up those buildings. I think more or less it was like a control, like, Superman didn't kill anybody, most people didn't die. It was showing like the parademons weren't trying to kill anybody, or showing that most people in this attack survived, and, I guess that was more or less what it was showing. I'm still really confused about why they focused on the family. I really am. It was interesting, I would say, but this kind of came out of nowhere. I'm just really confused. I'm really thinking this has something to do with Man of Steel and, all DC Superheroes destroying buildings and stuff. This was trying to show that, no one died, or, at least the family survived. I think this was like, this was trying to control, or the ground control, and trying to say that, you can't say that crap anymore, that we don't save people, because they actually did, which I do find kind of interesting. It was a weird cut. I really did find really weird, kind of dumb in my opinion, because that was just really weird jump cut. How they always jump kind of nowhere to show the family in there, what they're up to. Which I thought was like one scene where they would just be like, the parademons are flying by and the little girl's looking and she stares and it scares her. I thought that would be like a one-off scene, but no, they get like 15 minutes or maybe even at least 20 minutes of the movie to the family, just without the Justice League, which I find kind of interesting and kind of weird. They only get 20 minutes. They only get like 10 minutes. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not that good at telling time. You could tell. End credit scene. The end credit scene showed Lex Luthor. Well, Lex Luthor, after you guys remember Batman Superman, he went to Arkham Asylum. That scene was cool. Batman's about to brand him. you know, that means someone's gonna kill you in jail. But Batman was like, no, you're gonna go Arkham Asylum. Maybe he still did Brandon, but he got his head shaved off. And eventually he broke out, found some dude laughing. Some police found some dude laughing in jail, so which I guess that might be a hint that, you know, the Joker may have gotten out too, which they didn't show him in this. But as you can tell by the dude on the right, Deathstroke showed up! Oh my gosh, when I saw this, I lost it. If you guys remember for my top 10 favorite Batman villains, spoilers, hurry up, go watch it. I'm gonna be quiet right here. Go watch the video right now. Well, if you have seen the video, my number one favorite superhero is Deathstroke. And he's in this movie, and he's absolutely cool. He didn't do anything, but just sat there and looked kind of like Boba Fett, but it was amazing just to see him. It was so cool. And then this is basically a hint towards the Injustice League, was like it's based the Legion of Doom or the Injustice League. I like to call them the Injustice League, but it's the Legion of Doom. The Legion of Doom is basically just a group of, you know, supervillains who want to kill Justice League, or, you know, arch-villains of the Justice League trying to take down, well, you know, arch-villains of the Justice League trying to take down Justice League. That's something I should have said. But yeah, Deathstroke was on it. That was awesome. Lex Luthor, I'm still getting watch him like a Lex Luthor. He looks like a Lex Luthor to me now, kind of. I'm still trying to get used to him. That's kind of what I feel about it. I feel like he looked like an interesting Lex Luthor. He was quite interesting. I enjoyed him. Well, he only had a couple seconds, so I guess not having a whole entire movie with him made me kind of enjoy him more than Batman v Superman, because I'm more getting used to him. But yes, Deathstroke, and I'm excited if they have an Injustice League movie or Justice League 2 movie where they show the Injustice League. You know, they're gonna build this up. That's kind of cool. Well, it's really cool in my opinion. Deathstroke, that made me, I was like kid at the theater for screaming yes. Yeah. Justice League, a movie that felt like that lacked confidence. It was still a decent enough movie. You can tell you saw my opinions and stuff. This review was kind of made in a rush. I do apologize, but like all mines are, because you know something's coming out tomorrow. Justice League, a movie that was decent enough to say. Wasn't great, wasn't amazing, just decent. It was not even amazing. The villain had problems. A lot of heroes did have problems, but I still, no matter what, I will still love the Justice League. So I thought it was a decent enough movie. So, Justice League, a movie that was decent enough, lacked confidence. Horrible villain, decent enough characters, and a good enough cast. Had pretty decent enough CGI besides the mustache. Speaking of mustaches, I got some more mustache. That's my best CGI. It didn't stick on though, so yeah, I lost my mustache. Hope you guys enjoyed this review. I'm sorry I've been down for YouTube for a while. I know I always do this, and I'm really sorry. It does take a lot to make these videos. I don't have a lot of stuff to edit with these videos. It takes me a lot and a long time to make these videos, but I love making these. I do have a plan for making 3 more videos. I gotta make Stranger Things Season 2 review. I do know that. I have seen Stranger Things Season 2. That review will probably be coming out around Christmas. I'm sorry. I know a lot of stuff has been coming out. Net neutrality, and I feel like there's a lot of stuff on my channel I want to change. I want to make a video about, you know, superhero fatigue, you know, getting done with Marvel stuff. I don't want to review every single superhero movie. That's something I'm generally getting tired with. But I do think I still will do it. But I do really want to make these reviews 10 times shorter. Please make these 10 to 5 minutes. I really want to make these shorter because I hate making these 20 minutes. It really affects me. I know I really do draw these out, and I feel like there's an issue for my editing and my reviewing that I really do draw my reviews out. Some people may like it, but I feel like most people dislike me for redrawing out my review, so I'm deeply sorry about this. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Really hope you do. Check out my Thor Ragnarok review. I really took me a lot to make that video too. Check out the rest of them. If you're new, please subscribe. Close to reaching 300 subscribers. I'm so close, I can almost taste it. And then we can get 400, then 500, then 600, then 700, then 800, then 900, then 1,000. And once we get that, I'm gonna quit YouTube. I'm joking. I'm gonna probably still review. But more stuff. I really want to make more stuff besides just making superhero reviews. So there might be a change of content and being more experimental. That's something I really want to do with this channel, be more experimental with my videos. Because I don't also want to be known as Blake the Comic Nerd. I want to be known as a nerd of different items, gaming, you know, tons of stuff. I like a lot of stuff, and I feel like I'm not really, you know, doing my full best with these videos. So I've also been on vacation. If you guys didn't know, it was my birthday Friday, December the 8th. So, you know, it was my birthday. I went to Florida. I went to the Bahamas. It was great. That's why this review took long for me to make. So thank you guys for waiting. It was my birthday. I was on vacation. I love you guys. Thank you for watching this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe. And as always, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye, my mans.
Superman was a beacon to the world. He didn't just save people, he made them see the best parts of themselves.
Older. I don't recognize this world.
You don't have to recognize him. We just have to save it.